Hey, Charles Hoffman here from Plugin Alliance. Today we're exploring 4 different creative effects that you can apply to your music using an EQ. All of the EQs mentioned in this video are included in the Plugin Alliance Mega Plan, which gives you access to over 180 plugins and allows you to keep your favorites. You can start a 30-day free trial using the link below. Stick around to the end for some cool tricks to make your sounds more complex and dynamic. If you're ready to level up your audio production game, then let's get started. Creating a telephone effect using an EQ is a simple and creative way to add a unique character to your audio. You can hear this effect in action on a track called Roll It Back, which features my wife. This effect has been applied to her vocals during the pre-chorus.
Why am I feeling so outside myself? Why am I being so unkind to myself? I think I need a little help. I think I need a little help.
As you can hear, this effect simulates the limited frequency response of an old telephone, which typically ranges from around 500 Hz to 3.5 kHz. To begin, you'll want to reach for a parametric EQ that provides you with high-pass and low-pass filters. Here I'm using the Kirchhoff EQ and applying a high-pass at 500 Hz and low-pass at 3.5 kHz. This will help you achieve half the effect.
Why am I feeling so outside myself? Why am I being so unkind to myself? I think I need a little help. I think I need a little help.
You'll also want to experiment with boosting mid-range frequencies to add some character to the telephone effect. I recorded these vocals with the TLM-103, which is known for being a clean and articulate microphone, so I actually need to degrade the clarity of my recording to make this effect believable. A slight boost around 1 to 2 kHz can add a tinny metallic sound that helps pull this telephone effect together.
Why am I feeling so outside myself? Why am I being so unkind to myself? I think I need a little help. I think I need a little help.
The goal is to recreate the audio quality of a telephone speaker from the 1990s. Dr. Dre uses this effect on one of his tracks from The Chronic. You can also hear it at the beginning of The Call by the Backstreet Boys. The settings I showed you are just a starting point. Depending on the characteristics of the audio you're working with, you may need to adjust the center frequency of the high and low pass filters. Something else that you need to take into account is the slope of the high pass and low pass filters. I'm using a pretty steep slope here, but if your EQ doesn't allow you to change the slope, you may need to cut closer to your mid-range. This is a really fun EQ effect that you can set up once, save as a preset, and then use in the future. A riser is an effect used to increase anticipation leading up to the drop or chorus of a song. It's also commonly used to keep the energy of music flowing between subsections of a drop or chorus. The foundation of the sound can be created using white noise, a synth patch, or by quickly repeating a percussive sound. To give it a rising effect, you'll want to automate the pitch over time. I find the easiest way to do this is by rendering the sound to audio and then drawing in pitch automation within the audio clip. Based on the DAW you're using, adding pitch automation may look a little bit different. To complete the effect, you can add volume automation over time. Creating a downsweep involves more or less the same process, but instead of pitching the sound up, you pitch it down and decrease the volume level over time. Enhancing risers and downsweeps using an EQ's high-pass and low-pass filters can make your buildups more interesting, especially if your EQ has a resonance control. To start, I'm going to apply the BX Clean Sweep Pro to my riser and automate the low-pass cutoff frequency knob so that it starts at a low value and gradually increases over time. Using BX Clean Sweep Pro is a good choice because it has different low-pass filter shapes. My favorite is the resonant BW filter because there's a boost around the cutoff frequency, which adds a sweeping resonance effect. I'm also going to add a curve to the automation envelope so that the filter backs off in a way that's not so linear. Again, you can apply a similar effect to your down sweeps. If you want to take this effect a step further, you can use a plugin like the BX Pan EQ to modify the frequency response of the left and right audio channels independently over time. This is a 3-band EQ that you can automate the parameters of to create incredibly complex filtering effects that breathe life into otherwise static sounds. You hear bass wobbles in EDM tracks all the time. But a more subtle version of this effect sometimes finds its way into pop songs. Traditionally, you'll use a low-frequency oscillator within a synth to automate the cutoff frequency of a low-pass filter, but not every synth lets you apply modulation in this way. Sometimes you're working with audio clips and don't even have access to a synth's parameters, so I'm going to show you how to create a standalone version of this effect that you can apply to any sound using an EQ. To start, you'll need a bass sound with a lot of upper harmonic content. You can tone down the fuzz and grittiness in the sound, so don't worry if this is a little intense right now. Using an EQ like the Amic EQ250, apply a low-pass filter to your bass sound. Turn the knob all the way down to 20 Hz. At this point, you need to apply some automation. Automate the cutoff frequency of the low-pass filter so that it opens and closes or wobbles at a steady rate. I've set the open value of the filter to 850 Hz, which is somewhat low, but this wobble will sit in the background of the mix, so I don't want it to be too overwhelming. You can control the speed of the wobble by adjusting how quickly the automation moves. For example, a fast automation rate will create a quicker wobble, which can be used for high-energy sections of a song. You'll also notice that I applied some gentle curves to the automation envelope so that it sounds more natural. Another benefit of applying wobble effects using an EQ plugin rather than at the source is that you can apply this effect to instrument groups. This provides a tight and cohesive sound that would otherwise be difficult to achieve. Synth patches tend to sound sterile and predictable if you don't make an active effort to avoid this from happening. You don't get those natural variations like you would when strumming or plucking a guitar. You can add organic movement to your synths through automation applied to multiple EQ parameters. Sweeping a boosted bell filter throughout the frequency spectrum will drastically alter the sound. Here, I'm using the Kirchhoff EQ to do this. Applying boosts or cuts to other bands and adding some movement to them will create an even more complex and morphing sound.
really kill for more, yeah. You really kill for more, yeah. Can't get you out of my head, no. Please just leave me alone. Demons are eating my skin, yeah. Stuff my past can win, yeah. Voices taking over, so maybe it's over.
Plugin Alliance's Mega Plan gives you instant access to over 180 audio plugins and allows you to keep your favorites. Start a free 30-day trial using the link below to demo all the EQs used in this video. Give this video a like if it was helpful, and subscribe to the Plugin Alliance YouTube channel for more tutorials like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
You really kill for more, yeah.